Hello everyone, my name is Josh and welcome to Did You Know Disney, the show where I share with you a bunch of facts you definitely didn't know about Disney. I've got a bunch of awesome little factoids for you guys today. So let's just strap on in and keep our hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the ride at all times. Number 1. The Contemporary Resort doesn't actually take its name from the contemporary style architecture of the hotel. Instead, it's actually a combination of the words cone and temporary. You see, back when Walt Disney World was first under construction, the Disney company thought that there would be a large influx of visitors for the opening, with attendance slowly dwindling down to much lower levels over time. This spawned the idea of the temporary hotel, which originally would be cone-shaped. However, during construction, with a need to accommodate more people, the cone shape was dropped for the larger and more accommodating trapezoidal structure that you see today. And of course, after the opening of Disney World, the attendance never quite dwindled down to those levels that the Disney company originally thought, so it stayed around, and for good reason. The Contemporary is now one of the most popular and famous resorts on Disney property. But for those of you Disney fans wondering what this original idea would have looked like, look no further than the 2006 film Cars. The little town of Radiator Springs features the Cozy Cone Motel, which actually is built upon those original ideas for the Contemporary Hotel. Number 2. It's time to debunk that age-old myth once and for all. Walt Disney's head is not frozen in the utilidors underneath the Magic Kingdom. It just doesn't make sense. Think about how many cast members there are down there, how many people you'd have to hide that secret from on a day-to-day basis. It just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. You see, Walt Disney's frozen head is actually inside the LED globe featured in Illumination's Reflections of Earth, the Epcot nighttime fireworks show. This was done because, as a tribute to Walt Disney's legacy and the Florida Project and the Epcot Center that he had dreamed of, the Disney company wanted to allow him to see what his vision had become every night during one of the greatest fireworks shows that Disney has ever created. And if you're lucky, and if you bring some binoculars with you to the World Showcase in the late afternoon, you might even be able to catch a glimpse of the old popsicle himself. Just be quick, you don't want security to catch you. Number 3, it's no secret that Disney's initial plans for the monorail system were far greater than what we would eventually receive at the Walt Disney World Resort. But did you know that for a time there was also going to be a high-speed roller coaster based on the iconic transportation system? That's right, during the 90s under then CEO Michael Eisner, there was an idea thrown around for quite some time that would see the iconic transportation system transformed into a high-speed thrill ride in Disney's California Adventure Park. Unfortunately, this idea never quite panned out, and concept art for the ride is incredibly difficult to come by. So it's very hard to tell what this ride would have actually been like. But in its place, we did receive California Screamin', so we can get a rough understanding of how it would have worked, but in my opinion, we definitely came out on the better end of this deal. Number 4. Did you know that the Animal Kingdom attraction Expedition Everest isn't actually modeled after Mount Everest? Due to some miscommunication during the research and development phase of the attraction, Imagineers were accidentally sent to K2, the second tallest mountain in the world. And unfortunately, constrained on time and tight on budget, the Imagineers were unable to visit Mount Everest instead. But thankfully they took it in stride and decided, how much do guests really care about geological accuracy? Thankfully, The museum-like queue that was planned for the attraction wouldn't be affected at all, as we all know. Thanks to some brilliant Google searches and some very clutch Wikipedia articles, the Imagineers were able to piece together enough stories and myths and local legends about the mountain and the famous Yeti to make it all work and come together so that the famous Peak 15 could be at least accurately represented in the queue of the attraction. And last but not least, number 5. Now this one may not be as surprising to many of you, but the new Fantasyland attraction, The Journey of the Little Mermaid, was actually, originally, going to follow the story of the 2008 prequel film, The Little Mermaid 3: Ariel's Beginning. The story followed the Kingdom of Atlantica, where all music was banned after King Triton's wife Athena had died. Unfortunately, this film failed to pull adequate numbers at the box office, and of course, Imagineers were forced to go with the story of the original Little Mermaid from 1989. Which, I mean, honestly, if you ask me, is kind of a bummer, but I get it. It's alright. Yeah.
Wait, what?